Welcome to Veteran to Veteran. I'm Conrad Kaskowski. With me is Dwayne Wick. As you can see with our hats, we belong to a veteran service organization, the American Legion here in Plymouth, Wisconsin, the Ladwig Zincraft Post 243. Now, for you keen observers, you'll notice a little difference in our hats. Mine is completely blue and it deals with the actual post position of which I'm an adjutant. And Dwayne, why don't you explain your hat?
All right, well, we're called the white cappers or white tops, and that's because that's the second district level, so I'm a vice commander of the second district.
I don't have to salute them, by the way, so we don't do that. So let's get on to where we were. Dwayne, the last show we discussed benefits for veterans. So now let's recap the 4 important steps we discussed.
Okay, well, first of all, we talked about make sure that you have a will so that your last wishes are documented. That's number 1. Number 2, if you currently don't have a DD-214 or know the location of it, find that DD-214, get one, make sure that you have a copy of it, and secure it down at in our case, our Sheboygan County Register of Deeds. Number 3 would be to contact your funeral home and do a pre-planned arrangements. Then, as we've said so many times, contact your County Veterans Service Office about what benefits you may be eligible for. And I think we can add to that to make sure that your family is aware of your planning. Because if you go through all of this and they're not aware of it, they will not know where to start.
So if you were counting, he actually gave 5. So that was a little pop quiz for you. Okay, once you completed those steps, Dwayne, got any idea what we would be doing next?
Then I would select the final resting place.
Okay, you want to determine if you want a private cemetery, in other words, your church cemetery, your local community cemetery, or a state or national cemetery. For your private cemetery, of course, the funeral director would be the one that would assist you in locating that and making those arrangements. And again, as we said, your county veteran service officer will assist you with state and national cemetery locations and registrations.
All right. After making and selecting a cemetery, what's available for the marking of the gravesite or the niche for the remains?
All right, now I'm going to have to use a cheat sheet because there's a lot of information that goes with this. Your County Veteran Service Officer and office can really be a help. Now, the Department of Veterans Affairs furnishes upon request at no charge to the applicant a government headstone or marker for the unmarked grave of any deceased eligible veteran. We talked about eligibility, so you have to go through that, but in any case, it's the eligible veteran in any cemetery around the world, regardless of their date of death. Now, a government-furnished headstone or marker may be provided for eligible veterans who died on or after November 1990 and whose grave is already marked with a privately purchased headstone. Now, government-furnished medallion may be provided for eligible veterans who served on or after April 6, 1917, it's the date of the war to end all wars, and whose grave is marked with a privately purchased headstone or marker. Now, flat markers in granite, marble, and bronze, and upright headstones in granite and marble are available. Bronze niche markers are also available to mark columbarium used for interment of cremated remains. Now, the style chosen must be permitted by the officials in charge of the private cemetery where it is to be placed. So really need to coordinate that if you're using a private cemetery. Now, when burial or memorization in a national cemetery, state veterans cemetery, or a military post base cemetery, the headstone or marker will be ordered by the cemetery officials based and use the inscription information provided by the next of kin or authorized representative. Meaning, if you notice that at the state and the federal or national cemeteries, how they're all the same, this is what they're saying. They are the ones that will be making the choice as to what type of headstone will be used. Now, spouses and dependents are not eligible for government furnished headstones or marker unless they are buried in a national or state veteran cemetery or a military post or base cemetery. Again, there's no charge for the headstone or marker itself. However, arrangements for placing it in a private cemetery or the applicant's responsibility are all in the setting are at the applicant's expense, that being at a private cemetery. Again, at a state or national, those costs are absorbed by the government.
No, that's a lot of information. So I would say contact your Veterans Service Office. They have all that information to help you and to go through it again. What about cremains and the niche? Are there any special markings?
When you make these arrangements in advance, and even after now, because we had talked about the fact of already a headstone or niche in place, there are a variety of military insignias and religious medallions that can be placed. One other thing in dealing with as far as the registration for instance, a state cemetery, and that would be out of my personal dealings. February of this year, based upon everything that we were talking about and preparing for, I made the registration with the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs. Their website will tell you this is the fastest way of making those reservations. Now again, that was in February of 2021.
Fast being?
In mid-April was when I finally got the letter stating that, okay, you've been reserved. Where I had selected was Union Grove, which is a pretty popular now area. Well, if you look at the population base, it's going to be, Now, you do not have the choice of where on the grounds, again, because of the requests coming in. It'd be too scattered, and, the military likes, and even Veterans Affairs likes everything in some sort of a order, which is understandable. So, that being said, remember that was 2 months of the fastest way of doing it. So take heed of that. Also, don't forget that phone number, 920-459-3053. We can't say that number enough. I know I've talked to the folks over at the office with the Veterans County office, and they're thrilled that we're doing this. But remember, jot that down or replay this or whatever, and keep that number handy.
And do that soon after the passing of the veteran so that grave markers can be accommodated, a U.S. flag can be obtained, and there's various service organizations such as the Legion, VFW, and others that can help with help civic organizations to place, when they place these flags on the cemeteries, and these markers help them to locate where the veterans' grave site is. And also meeting with the Veteran County Service Office could assist you with other benefits that may be available. And we ran into 2 cases just recently where a spouse had contacted us because this is the time of the year where flags are placed in the markers on the cemeteries. And 2 of them had said there wasn't a flag at our spouse's cemetery. My first question was there a flag marker there? And they said, I don't think so. And I said, you need to contact your Veterans Service Office so that they know to put a marker there, and that helps with the placing of the flags. So make sure that you get in there soon after the passing of a spouse, and those things will all be arranged.
Now, that would be regardless if they were part of the VA health care.
Correct.
Some feel that, well, my spouse was not part of the veteran health care, so I'm not eligible. That's not the case. That's why we keep saying of contacting the County Veteran Service Office, and in this case, with the passing, it would be, you would find out even more. So don't hesitate. They're anxious to help you, and they are extremely helpful. Well, Dwayne, we covered a lot of areas dealing with veteran funeral benefits, and again, we can't emphasize enough about handling the pre-planning, about contacting your local County Veteran Service Office for up-to-date information. Now, there are some other areas that we did not cover, especially when it deals with anyone that was retired from the service, and some other issues. That's why you need to call. We gave you the very basic information to get started, and hopefully somebody will listen to us or take heed and do that. And we hope that we've been able to provide you with enough information to do that. So Dwayne, hopefully we're going to have some input from fans watching, right, and we'll come up with another topic for you, and hopefully that we are helping you in some way. And for that, thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the next show for Veteran to Veteran.
Thank you.